How's it going, everyone? I watched the Game Awards last night, and genuinely, I thought it was a pretty darn good show. There were a lot of announcements and game reveals that I got super excited for. Control 2, Ace Combat 8, new Mega Man game, new Tomb Raider games. I had people messaging me telling me that they were disappointed, etc, etc. I don't know what there was to be disappointed about outside of a few select things, but for the most part, I thought the show had a lot of really solid announcements. Now, the reality is, with an event like the Game Awards, it is just so long. It is like a 3-hour show, and there's gonna be a lot of advertising. There's gonna be a lot of fluff that I think is immediately gonna turn people off. But if you take away the major game reveals, there are like 6, 7, 8 games that I looked at, and I'm like, okay, as far as games that were showcased and games we were given updates on, there were like a lot of games I was excited for. So if you take it from that vantage point, hey, that's a W to me. If you assess it as like a 3-hour event, I could totally understand people falling asleep, it being too long, etc, etc. But if you just take away the major game announcements and assess whether or not there are games you're excited for, I think it's a notable W. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming out. Now, the major issue that I have is an issue I've brought up with the PlayStation showcases in the past. It's an issue that I brought up with the Game Awards last year, is how we structure these shows. The finale is supposed to be a big deal. When you showcase these games, you're supposed to do it in a way that you can optimize when they are being shown, how they are shown, and realizing and understanding who your target audience is. Now, I get that and I don't know this to be a fact, how the monetary transactions work. Like, are there publishers and developers that pay X amount of dollars to be slotted in this portion of this show or that portion of the show? But beyond that, there has to be some understanding. Hey, know who your audience is. Know who you're promoting these games to. So I look at a game like Highguard and how they transition into that game being the closing title, and it's not just because it's a live service hero shooter-esque game. I know that, I definitely have gone off on live service games in the past, but live service games, I get it. There are a lot of studios that are just gonna make these games. There are a lot of publishers that are gonna greenlight these games. At this point, I can't do anything about that. However, realize that the people that are watching the Game Awards, and yes, you might look at that number and there were millions of concurrent viewers, 1 million, 2 million people. There are going to be a lot of views. Yes, there are a lot of people that are watching these shows, but realize that that is a core gaming audience. Those are the people that get excited for games like Control Resonant. Those are the people that get excited for games like Tomb Raider. A brand new IP that is a live service game is going to have certain optics attached to it, especially a hero shooter. That is a title that people are immediately gonna look at and be like, oh, another cash grab multiplayer game. And I get it, it's coming from the creators of Apex Legends and Titanfall, but how you segued into this game saying that it's coming from the creators of Apex Legends and Titanfall, people were assuming at Titanfall 3. It came off as a big bait and switch, and I don't know who greenlights stuff like this. It's just like when I had a meltdown about the PlayStation Showcase in 2023. Why are we opening the show with a CG trailer for a game called Fair Game that it has been 2.5 years since that event happened? We still don't know anything about that game. It is just nonsensical. Who sits down and greenlights things like, oh, you know what's gonna be a big title? Highguard. Let's close our event with Highguard. It's a free game coming out in 6 weeks. Nobody cares. Yes, it'll have some attention when it comes out. It's a free game. People will check it out. But for the audience that you are promoting these games to, the viewers that are watching the Game Awards, you're talking about people that are more of the hardcore gaming audience, and they're gonna be aware about things like the live service disasters left and right. Games like Concord and so many other games that have come out and have just been objective failures, and then on top of that, people are aware enough now that these games are done and they are created to generate revenue year after year after year. Not to say that live service games can't be good. They absolutely can be good. And if Highguard had a trailer even at the Game Awards and it was in the middle of the show, that would be one thing. But historically, when you're talking about these big events, Summer Game Fest, Game Awards, the showcases, you end off with a bang. Here you're ending with Highguard? Go back to the Xbox Game Showcase. It was the same thing there. Know your audience. Why are you ending with Call of Duty Black Ops 7? That would be like a big event ending with the yearly sports games. It's the structuring of the event. I don't even think the Game Awards was a bad show, but this structuring is so bad. And how you can greenlight things like the Concord Burger trailer, things like the Fair Game garbage CG trailer opening that show at the Showcase of 23, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 ending the Microsoft Game Showcase this year, and now Highguard ending the show with the Game Awards. It just leaves an awful, awful taste in the mouth of the consumers and the viewers. And again, I don't know if the developers, if there is some backing or whatever the case may be, there has to be some sort of reason, because I refuse to believe that Jeff Keighley is dumb enough to greenlight a live service game ending your event. I thought it was nonsensical last year where a CG trailer, even if it was Naughty Dog, a CG trailer for a new IP ending an event, just not a big fan of that. And for last year, I just don't think Naughty Dog optically is at the level that they once were. I don't think anybody is going to disagree with that, but at the very least, you can make the argument. I can understand why Naughty Dog's next title would end an event. A live service hero shooter game ending an event like this is just so nonsensical, and I just have to imagine there's no other way that I can believe that Jeff Keighley and his team sat down and you're like, all right, let's structure this show. Highguard, that's the one. If everybody is under some sort of the same deal as far as how they showcase the game, and Jeff Keighley was like, this is the one, man. This is the game that we're gonna end our show on, Highguard. There has to be something else to it, but beyond that, it's just, how does this happen over and over again? Just have an understanding of who your audience is. Restructure the show. End with back-to-back Tomb Raider announcements. While that might have been a little bit deflating to some people, it's not gonna be as bad as this. And if you don't want to hear it from me, how about we pull up the Highguard World Premiere trailer from the Game Awards and read the comment section. Oh, top comment, no wonder no one leaked it. Even the audience thought it was gonna be Titanfall 3. A hero shooter as the last reveal was kinda sad. Is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke? That was the biggest bait I got this year. WTF. Top 10 devs not reading the room moment. Exactly. Know who your audience is. Read the room. And if you're the development studio behind this game, how do you not realize that this is just gonna be bad optics for your game? Deserved or not, there is a perception from the core gaming audience right now about these hero shooters, about these live service games in general. They can be good. They can be successful. We get that. They're the Helldivers 2s of the world out there. They're the Marvel Rivals of the world out there. But optically, right now, ending an event like this is just a terrible idea. Let's continue. This was the last reveal, a generic F2P live service hero shooter, slop in its purest form. Is that? Oh, all publicity is good publicity. Really? Are we really gonna say that right now, that all publicity is good publicity? And the video that I'm looking at right now, this is from the official Game Awards channel, 33,000 views, 503 likes. I would be really curious what that dislike counter is. And you just have to know your audience. It is appalling to me how stuff like this continues to happen. Black Ops 7 ending the Microsoft Game Showcase. Concord having a burger trailer. Fair Game CG trailer opening that show. It is infuriating to me. I get it. Y'all want to make your live service games. Y'all want to sell those microtransactions so badly. Y'all want to sell your skin so badly. Read the room and position your games accordingly, and not at the end of an event like this. All you had to do was restructure this event. Throw Highguard somewhere in the middle. People will move on. It's not that big of a deal. Put Control at the end. Put Ace Combat 8 at the end. Put Divinity at the end, even if it's a CG trailer. This year's conclusion was so much worse than last year's conclusion, where I could at least understand, dude, Naughty Dog is a storied, famed development studio. I could get that. Live service hero shooter for this audience? What is actually good? What is going on here? Again, I refuse to believe that a team of people who structured this show, or Jeff Keighley himself, thought that this was a good idea. There has to be some sort of explanation. There has to be some sort of monetary transaction, because I cannot rationalize this in any other way humanly possible. You're doing a disservice to the event, and more than anything, you're doing a disservice to that game as well. Yes, some people and a lot of people may view it as live service slop, but I do know that there are hundreds and hundreds of man hours that are being put into every single one of these games. It is a disservice to that game to be positioned in that way, because you are sending that game out to slaughter. Realize this with these live service games. I get it. Y'all want to get that microtransaction revenue. Y'all salivate for that microtransaction revenue. But there is a time and a place for everything, and this is just insane to me that, again, it could be greenlight. I know these are smart people. They have to know who their audience is, and again, you're just sending these games out to slaughter over and over again, and I cannot fathom why that is. From Fair Game, Concord, and now this game, it's all about positioning. And beyond that, do I think this game is going to be successful? No, but live service games, sometimes they come out, nobody sees them coming, and they end up being successful. Who the hell knows? If I had to be a betting man, it probably won't be. And I do appreciate the fact it's out in 6 weeks and it's not 2 years away, but again, live service hero shooter in the Big 25 ending an event when we've seen the track record of how these games are received at events like this. It's insane to me, and it's ridiculous. And the bait and switch leading into it was horrible as well. Again, I don't think the show was that bad. Honestly, the people that I've talked to that think the show is bad, like, yes, it was long. The show's long every year, but there were a lot of cool announcements. Control, Ace Combat 8, Mega Man. Y'all think I'm not hyped for a new Mega Man game? Even if some people aren't gonna think of Mega Man as that level of an IP, I grew up with Mega Man. Obviously, I'm super excited for that. There's a lot of cool games that were showcased, but the Highguard finale is just gonna leave a bad taste in so many people's mouth, and I just cannot understand how this happens over and over again, but I digress. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. The game itself is out on January 26th, and you just see social media eviscerating this game. And what are these events supposed to be as far as being showcased? It's a promotional vehicle, and your promotional vehicle leads to you getting clowned on 6 weeks or 7 weeks before your release. Is that what you really want? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.